John Adams, a founding father of the United States and a statesman, lawyer, diplomat, and author, lived from October 30, 1735, to July 4, 1826. He presided over the nation as the second president from 1797 until 1801. As the nation's second president, Adams maintained his independence. He refused to participate in patronage and favors a system of politics, and also refused to accept any kind of bribe. Adams gets a reputation as a figure in American history whose honesty and integrity was most highly regarded. Every problem is an opportunity in disguise. To be good, and to do good, is all we have to do. Let justice be done though the heavens should fall. I must study politics and war that my sons may have liberty to study mathematics and philosophy. Facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passion, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence. 1 useless man is a shame, 2 is a law firm, and 3 is a Congress. There are 2 ways to conquer and enslave a country. One is by the sword. The other is by debt. Liberty cannot be preserved without general knowledge among the people. We recognize no sovereign but God, and no king but Jesus. Let us tenderly and kindly cherish, therefore, the means of knowledge. Let us dare to read, think, speak, and write. I am a revolutionary, so my son can be a farmer, so his son can be a poet. Ideology is the science of idiots. Liberty, once lost, is lost forever. I would quarrel with both parties, and with every individual of each, before I would subjugate my understanding, or prostitute my tongue or pen to either. We have no constitution which functions in the absence of a moral people. Ambition is one of the ungovernable passions of the human heart. The love of power is insatiable and uncontrollable. A constitution of government once changed from freedom, can never be restored. Liberty, once lost, is lost forever. When legislature is corrupted, the people are undone. Power must never be trusted without a check. Slavery is a foul contagion in the human character. The 10 Commandments and the Sermon on the Mount contain my religion. If worthless men are sometimes at the head of affairs, it is, I believe, because worthless men are at the tail and the middle. Liberty can no more exist without virtue and independence than the body can live and move without a soul. When you see a good move, sit on your hands and find a better one. The whole drama of the world is such tragedy that I am weary of the spectacle. The true source of our sufferings has been our timidity. A pen is certainly an excellent instrument to fix a man's attention and to inflame his ambition. Thanks to God that He gave me stubbornness when I know I am right. Property monopolized or in the possession of a few is a curse to mankind. The general principles on which the fathers achieved independence were the general principles of Christianity. I had heard my father say that he never knew a piece of land run away or break. There is no greater guilt than the unnecessary war. People and nations are forged in the fires of adversity. There are only 2 creatures of value on the face of the earth, those with the commitment, and those who require the commitment of others. Nothing is more dreaded than the national government meddling with religion. I am determined to control events, not be controlled by them. It's of more importance to community that innocence should be protected than it is that guilt should be punished. If we do not lay out ourselves in the service of mankind, whom should we serve? No man who ever held the office of president would congratulate a friend on obtaining it. It is weakness rather than wickedness which renders men unfit to be trusted with unlimited power. I drink no cider, but feast on Philadelphia beer. I wish I could lay down beside her and die too. All great changes are irksome to the human mind, especially those which are attended with great dangers and uncertain effects. The Christian religion is, above all the religions that ever prevailed or existed in ancient or modern times, the religion of wisdom, virtue, equity and humanity. In every society where property exists there will ever be a struggle between rich and poor. Mixed in one assembly, equal laws can never be expected. They will either be made by the member to plunder the few who are rich, or by the influence to fleece the many who are poor. Grief drives men into habits of serious reflection, sharpens the understanding, and softens the heart. If thou shalt not covet, and thou shalt not steal, were not commandments of heaven, they must be made inviolable precepts in every society, before it can be civilized or made free. There is not an enemy so stout, as to storm and take the fortress of the mind, unless its infirmity turn traitor, and fear unbar the gates. Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other. Let every sluice of knowledge be opened and set a-flowing. Whenever serious art loses track of its roots in the vernacular, then it begins to atrophy. Everything in life should be done with reflection. Remember, democracy never lasts long. It soon wastes, exhausts, and murders itself. There never was a democracy yet that did not commit suicide. The destiny of America is to carry the gospel of Jesus Christ to all men everywhere. I have examined all religions, and the result is that the Bible is the best book in the world. Will you tell me how to prevent riches from producing luxury? Will you tell me how to prevent luxury from producing effeminacy, intoxication, extravagance, vice and folly? We hold that each man is the best judge of his own interest. The only thing most people do better than anyone else is read their own handwriting. Ambition is the subtlest beast of the intellectual and moral field. It is wonderfully adroit in concealing itself from its owner. The divine science of government is the science of social happiness, and the blessings of society depend entirely on the constitutions of government. The foundations of national morality must be laid in private families. We shall, by and by, want a world of hemp more for our own consumption. There is danger from all men. The only maxim of a free government ought to be to trust no man living with power to endanger the public liberty. Let frugality and industry be our virtues. Modesty is a virtue that can never thrive in public. Men must be ready, they must pride themselves and be happy to sacrifice their private pleasures, passions and interests, nay, their private friendships and dearest connections, when they stand in competition with the rights of society. As unbalanced parties of every description can never tolerate a free inquiry of any kind, when employed against themselves, the license, and even the most temperate freedom of the press, soon excite resentment and revenge. You will ever remember that all the end of study is to make you a good man and a useful citizen. Virtue is not always amiable. I pray heaven to bestow the best of blessing on this house, and on all that shall hereafter inhabit it. May none but honest and wise men ever rule under this roof. Government is nothing more than the combined force of society, or the united power of the multitude, for the peace, order, safety, good and happiness of the people. The Declaration of Independence laid the cornerstone of human government upon the first precepts of Christianity. July 4th ought to be commemorated as the day of deliverance by solemn acts of devotion. If the empire of superstition and hypocrisy should be overthrown, happy indeed will it be for the world, but if all religion and morality should be overthrown with it, what advantage will be gained? My God! This is a revolution. We have to offend someone. National defense is one of the cardinal duties of a statesman, and that there is an obligation to perform such a duty absolutely irrespective of party politics or factional differences. Like and subscribe to this life-changing YouTube channel for more great insightful videos.